Peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 man. Give me a second, man. I was just handling a little business, but I'm out on the deck. See if I can see some of the deers and stuff today. Let me see what I got going on. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. But I got a couple things going on. Okay. Okay. Well, peace, everybody. How everybody doing today? Yeah, peace and love to everybody. Just jumped on here while I'm chilling. Hope everybody having an amazing day. But peace, 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 love and light. Just jumped on here, man. I said I'm always gonna come back and share wisdom with everybody on social media, because nothing is secret with me. It's sacred. But truth has no sides, family. And everything I do it from within. Nobody is the boss of me per se. But a lot of people have been asking me about literature and about material while I'm in my city of Flint. I'll be going to Indianapolis. Actually, I'll be leaving probably Friday night. And I'll be right back. I'm just going to build with some guys. They're having me come out there, and I'm coming right back. But I love dealing with brothers that's real and that's honest. That be looking for real light. That be looking for real understanding. And so I'm right here. Okay. And just truth has no size. I'm always say that, man. That religious dogma keep us separated because our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge and a lack of application and a lack of study. And also just a lack of aptitude as well. Because most of our people don't study. And most of our people did drop out of high school and elementary, and they weren't homeschooled, and they don't have elders. And so a lot of people just jump around on social media. You know, a lot of our brothers and sisters that jump around on social media with no base. And so I'm just here as a map and a guide to share things with my brothers and sisters, especially our African spirits, all our African spirits from the Oligua, from the Santeria, from the Orishas, from the Crossroads. I deal with all that. I deal with Sheikh Bambu Fav. I deal with Credo Matua. I deal with all our sciences. And I don't gravitate to anything that operate outside myself as true shirk. Regardless how people feel. All that more science stuff, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm a shaman and a medicine man at the same time. And I'm Sufi. And I'm Tasawwuf. There's nothing outside of myself. I'ma always let people know. I don't believe in nothing outside of myself. I don't gravitate to nothing outside of myself. I'm under God consciousness. I'm under God consciousness. My auto-suggestion is on fleek, if that's what the kids want to say. My God consciousness that give me life is illuminated. The level of Buddha that I'm at is a higher level. It's understanding that God and man is one. When I say Buddha, it's a lifestyle, not Buddha per se. You had all type of Buddhas. You had the Gautama Buddha that sits on the seven serpents. When I break people down, the Nagas, but we don't have a clear understanding because we under religious dogma. And I don't gravitate to one science where I miss the essence of all the rest. I share this with my brothers and sisters all the time. I'm not orthodox. I'm not orthodox. I deal with all my African spirits. I deal with everything. I deal with the Orishas, the Santeria. I deal with the tarot cards. I deal with the Tantra. I deal with my singing bowls, my medicine bowls. I deal with a lot of my Sufi poems, which are affirmations. And I do this every single day. I do my voodoo, everything. And it's not nothing to play with. That's for sure. And I don't promote none of that stuff on social media. I just know how people operate. How? By the spirit. And if you see my real shrine, you'll be like, oh, okay. Because what I do is no joke. It's just like if you wanted to learn sticky hand from me, aka Wing Chun, the only way you're going to learn from me is be a student. That's the only way, is to learn. I tell people we lost due to the lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We want that shake weight era. And you can't get nothing with shake weight by just hearing with no application, with no supreme hika. You got to apply what you know. You can't know all this and be living a impoverished life and be living on welfare and Section 8 and on social media hustling people. That ain't how that work. That ain't how read no one work. You don't read nobody about no. It don't work like that. That's why I told y'all this stuff is fake. That type of stuff is not real. The way people doing things, we never do that. We don't read no tears like that, and that ain't part of our African spirits. That's not real. That's just like when y'all think the stuff y'all see on the Amish, you think that's real. And my homeboy, I got a homeboy that's Amish, his name is Khalid. That's who turned me on to getting all this land. So the stuff you be seeing on TV is not real Amish, because I know real Amish people. My homeboy Khalid, and he's a Moor. And him and his tribe, they got 200 acres in St. John's, Arizona. 200. I done helped so many groups of people get their own land so they can take their trailers and stuff and build their homestead. Why everybody talk about, ooh, I want to get land. I know how to get it. I get my finder's fee. I'll show you how to get it. I'm out your way. I'll show you how to get land just like we got land. For you can have your homestead. No gatekeeping with me. A source of information. Our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. And we just not into the know. I tell people this every day. Don't nobody got no power over us. We just not coming together. That's the problem. Oops, excuse me. I'm making a mess. I got all type of stuff. Got Blue Lotus. I got this ginger mix that I get from my misnomer Mexican store. They sell I get a lot of stuff when I'm in Flint from them. And they got this tart ginger juice. It's like ginger and turmeric, all that, man. I'm talking about, oh my God. And he make it fresh for me. He make it in the batch like I make my teas. He just make it for immune. And then if y'all see in the back of my garden, I'm going to show y'all some stuff I got growing. I got it all the way in the back. This is like, probably like 5 acres back there. But I got some wild flowers growing. And it's actually growing. Like I told you, I got these blue lotuses growing. And I just let it grow wild. Then I take it and I put it in my teas. My little flower bed right here, I done picked everything already. All my herbs and my ginger and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of my sage and stuff that grow naturally. Yep, I grow it all in the ground. Then all the beads you see that you see me wear, I get all these beads and I make it together. I put it all together. Everything I have, like my tunics and everything, I get everything wholesale by boxes. You know, what I got on there? I got them with the hood, cotton or silk. All our topics that you see me wear, I get them. I produce them all at our company page, Morris Haberdasher. Or when you get it with me personally, it's a part of our culture. So everybody get tax exempt receipts. If you part of our spirituality, this is part of our spirituality and religion. But people don't listen, you know. So, and I just be trying to tell people, man, we got to be more. We just mean to each other, and we supposed to be showing way more love than at each other. It's one nationality, many cultures. Nobody have to gravitate to your dogmatic perspectives because you don't understand your science, and people know their culture and they know their African or Kemetic spirits. You don't diss that because I don't. I give homage and respect to all of them. I tell everyone, I'm I deal with the Orishas, the Santeria, the Aligua, the Crossroads. I do all my African spirits that a lot of our people afraid of, and they try to connotate it as black magic. They always put a negative stigma on our science, but everybody go to the continent for what? For healing. Everybody go to our area for healing, to see our medicine men. When I talk about David Icke, when he interviewed Credo Matua, and Credo Matua had to be in exile, and David Icke made all that money. How? Interviewing Credo Matua, telling all our sciences, and people still misquoting the reptilians. They still don't know what it is. You only can be a shaman and a medicine man if you educate it. And you can go back to the community and teach them mathematics, arithmetic, science, all our African spirits, how to eat. That's a medicine man. That's a shaman. That's a Sufi. That's a sensei. That's a shaman, a medicine man. That's what that is. Everything you see, with all due respect, the European Jews do, they got that from Africa. Twirling the chicken, all that. That's part of our African spirits. I promise you, that's part of our African spirits. Do I show that? No, because the stuff that I do is not for show. I keep telling people, a lot of stuff you do not supposed to show on social media. Why? Because that's a negative vibration. I'm trying to tell people, if it's not part of your culture, you can just show, certain things, but you don't show the practices. We don't do that because we're not trying to convert no one to nothing. This is a culture. That's like when people be talking about hoodoo and casting spells, you can't be playing with that because you will cast a spell on yourself, thinking you doing something to somebody else. And don't even know the spirits when you doing that stuff. It affects the person that's conjuring up more than anything else. So you have to know how to deal with all those spirits. The negative spirit is just as powerful as the positive spirit if you don't know how to cast that away off of you. It's just like when you in the military and you fighting all that and then you come back home to the people. You got to know how to cleanse. You got to know how to conjure things, then cleanse. If you don't know how to take that spiritual bath, then you have no business playing with the spirits, especially our African spirits. We diss our African spirits because people heard a little bit about more science per se, but don't know the synchronicity of the science. Don't know we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. I'm Tassa Wolf. I understand all the religious rites. So when I say all my brothers understand the triple roles, they understand the religious rites, the Paraclete, the Fatimid, the Jerusalem, the Christian. They have clear understanding of the Sephirots, the seven Kemetic principles, over linguistics, over history and law, and real civics, a clear understanding of working out, and your body is the temple, all that, and our health is our wealth, all that. So all that matters, and the words that you speak, the energy that you put out when you're talking to other people, it affects what we do. I just broke this down about words and spells, and words when it's frozen in crystals, and what it produces, and what positive words produce, and what negative words produce. This is just the ethers. You can't go against that. And that's universal wisdom. A God man can go anywhere on this earth plane and speak his science. Can a lot of other people? Because a lot of people are talking paper terrorist stuff, just posting stuff. And a lot of that stuff these people posting, they know they ain't did it. Because if you done any of the stuff that you posting, prove it. And we can't. That's all I'm telling people. The divine comes first. So if person talk about they follow Noble Drew Ali and they ain't never, ever, ever touched the Moorish Quran. I see people posting all this paper terror stuff. That's not Moorish science. So when people say more is science and we have a holy book, which is the Moorish Quran, no, you never see no one speaking or talking about the divine. Why? Because I told you, our people are not divine. They dealing with what? The paper. They dealing with the mortal stuff. So that you always going to get caught up in things that's meaningless. What? Chasing paper, aka rat race. Because everybody that's posting that stuff, I bet you they go to work. I bet you they got a house. I bet you they pay taxes. I bet you they drive in a car with license and insurance. All that stuff that they posting, everyone that's posting it, I guarantee you not operating like that. I guarantee. I guarantee. I guarantee you got a job and you filled out black. I guarantee you pay taxes. I guarantee your wife say she black. I guarantee most of these people voted Democratic. I guarantee people just be on social media perpetrating because you can fake it on social media. Because you can fake it on social media. These is facts. Everybody talk all that. You black on paper with all due respect. You pay taxes. You got a driver's license, which you should. You go to work. You live in a neighborhood, in a community, and you pay taxes. Because if you didn't, you would lose your house. Why? For back taxes. So stop lying. That's why I be laughing at people. I'm like, you cannot live in no neighborhood, in no community, and don't pay taxes. You lying. It's just cap. You can't live in no local neighborhood with the local laws and the state laws trumping everything. The stuff you talk about is irrelevant, and you'll get kicked out your place for back taxes. Tell me I'm lying. I told you. And a lot of that stuff, what these people be doing, that's not community. That's Roger Elvick stuff. That's paradigm group stuff. And people still be falling for the Jedi mind trick or the banana in the tailpipe. Still today. Still today, our own people. And you only see one group of people doing this on social media. Who? Melanated people. And if any other people doing it, that's a different nationality. They call they what I call the militia, and the so-called Moor, the so-called sovereign citizen, the so-called oxymoron, a foreign national, be sitting right in the cell with the other nationality that call themselves over militia. You'll be right in jail. You'll just have a fez or a turban on. You're gonna be charged for the same crimes. Why? Look at the language. It's the same language as Roger Elvick and the Paradigm Group. Same stuff. Tell me I'm lying, y'all. You can't. That's low dead energy. Nobody here in the United States of America is no Moroccan general or no consulate of Morocco. You don't have no dual citizenship to no Morocco. Like, you can't be that asinine. The only thing a person can do is make you a Mason, and none of these people are not in no Masonic group, because to be one, you must know one, some real wisdom. The only thing they doing is making you expatriate from the de facto government. That's what they doing. And then you stateless, you a domestic terrorist, and then you think you done joined some citizenship or something, and you just wasted your time with all that goofy paper. These is facts, and don't nobody want to talk about facts. Well, I'm telling you facts. That paper is stupid, especially for the girls that's on welfare in Section 8. When you expatriate, you thinking from some de facto government, and you getting welfare in Section 8, all of it's over. And you say you a citizen of somebody fairy tale land, and they live in the projects or in the same neighborhoods you stay in. So how you join their citizenship, and you gonna expatriate from this so-called de facto government, and you still live here? Where? In the United States. You still live here. You still getting Section 8. You still getting welfare. Your kids still go to the public schools. You done lost your marbles. Because people don't want to talk about reality. People want to play insane, and you can't do that in the courts. In the courts, you get locked up. You get that straitjacket put on you. You in there playing crazy. How I know? Because when you talk that rhetoric, the language is synonymous to sovereign citizen movement. So, they lock you up. Because you got to be crazy talking that stuff. None of that stuff works in a court of law. And I know this because I'm in academia, and I have the pleasure to talk to prosecutors, attorneys, sheriffs, all that. And they like, man, everybody knows that's false. A person that ain't even into this science like that don't care. They'll be like, man, don't do that. Because when you go to courts, you're not going to be able to prove nothing you saying. I don't care how good somebody make that stuff sound. you're not going to be able to defend it. And they definitely ain't going to be there to help you to defend what you're saying. When you go to court, you're going to get, what you're going to do is you're going to plead to a lesser charge. Why? Because you're going to already plead guilty because you're going to be talking. You got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So nothing you say is going to help you defend your case unless you get immunity. And so what I'm saying is, most people that I know, they plead to a lesser charge. And when you plead to a lesser charge, you admit guilt. I'm telling you what I know. Most of these people don't have their own attorney. They talk that clock of destiny and stuff, and they know law. Well, I know law, and I know this, but I'm telling you, soon as the man get on them, they get a court-appointed attorney. Why? Because you not experienced in the arena of law. I guarantee you, you not experienced in the arena of law. Because I can say some words and tell you what's going to happen to you right off the top. Why? Because your language. I'm telling you. People don't understand when you operate right on higher wisdom. When I say clergy, medicine man, we are high, we consider it on a higher standard. What you mean, Sheik? I'm in my city of Flint. I go to the Thumb Correctional Facilities. They get to watch my lectures in the prisons. How I know? Because I used to go to the Thumb Correctional Facility and do unions and lecture in my city of Flint. I know people that's locked up in South Carolina. I know the wardens. They're like, oh, it's more science on the books because a lot of people in there under that. They're like, we don't mind them watching you, Sheik. Why? Because you can't deny what I'm saying. I ain't here on no dumb stuff. I know people that prison guards that's Moors that listen to me. Just because they choose that as their profession, that's on them. I'm telling you what I know. Anything I say, a person can look it up right then in real time. When I tell a person, what is the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? When I tell a person, research it. The Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, clearly states that you got a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And no one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim of child replaces the birth certificate. So if you got a right of a nationality and a right to change it, and no one would be arbitrarily denied, that's where somebody telling you this, you that, or you not this, or they can make you this, that's cap, because you should know who you are. From your family, your coat of arms, your family crest. So if you know that, nobody can do nothing. You should know this. Now coming together under a spiritual, that just connects you with a body. Because the religious laws trump everything. And this is what I'll be trying to tell you. All my people and my muftis, we are under our religious laws. We got our religious charter. We got our religious affidavit, so we don't have to participate in nothing that they want people to do when it comes down to taking shots or all that stuff. Why? Because the religious laws trump it. And everything I speak on can be researched. House Joint Resolution 75, where we had the right to annex our L, our day, our L, our bay. Where in 1985, in Atlanta, the mayors had the proclamation declaration letting everybody know we Moors. And then in 2012, and then people play semantics. This is the thing about us, that we can't walk out the house and understand it. This is how people play semantics. We're not Moors, we're Moors, M-U-U-R-S. Gostin Elbay, we're not them Moors. Well, Gostin Elbay will tell you that she a Moor. Understand the prophet teachings. Yeah, like people be tripping. M-O-O-R, M-O-O-R, M-U-U-R, M-O-H-R. I mean, what do you want to say? Like, we be playing semantics with each other, acting like we just a whole group of people. Well, these people killed these people. No, Leopold did this. Leopold wore, in his regiment, they wore the fez. And those Africans, they had to do that. If not, you would be killed. That was the looking for the black gold. The same way they did with Italy with his brother. Same way Hitler used the fez in his regiment, and they studied the Quran. All you got to do is research. But see, we are people that's so messed up because we think we're not the same people. We think we're not the same people. And and a lot of our people don't know history. It was two Hebrew pharaohs in Egypt, Sibatos and Sabakos. If I show you the history and I show you real history, we'll have to digress. I mean, how you think we did business? The only thing that made us look different is maybe the beard or maybe the cotton or silk. I mean, we done lost our marbles. We done lost our marbles. How you think he was trading with different people and different people going over under different science? We done lost our marbles. We done lost our marbles. And I tell people, I told y'all, my Islam ain't the Islam you might study. My Islam ain't the Islam you study. I tell people that I said, dude, I don't study no Al Islam. I'm not Orthodox. I'm Sufi. I'm Tasawwuf. I don't operate with nothing outside myself. Do I believe and do I understand in certain things? Yes, I understand. I have a degree in this. But I don't let that, my personal beliefs and what I understand, mess up with my teachings, mess up what I teach in academia. Just like I know misnomer Arabs, that's professors, that where they shemag with their halil on it. And he was like, all that Muhammad stuff is not real. From scholarship, you can believe what you want to believe. But from scholarship, we have to tell the truth. And we lecture about everything. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold up. Hold on. Y'all, can y'all hear me? I don't know. Somebody said they couldn't hear me. I don't know. Somebody said they couldn't hear me, but if y'all can hear me, let me know. I'm outside on my deck, so it's probably my sound going in and out. But if you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. Oh, I think I might have to cut this light on. But anyway, as I was saying, y'all, it don't rock like that. That's all I'm telling brothers and sisters. It's not like that. The science is not like that. And we have a lot of prophets that brought wisdom. Like Sheikh Sufi. Hell, the Black Hitler of Harlem. Abdul Hamid Solomon. Deuce Muhammad Ali. I mean, we had all these great brothers and sisters. When I tell people as an educator and scholar, and I ain't even got with our educators, I'm just giving some people in the flesh that you might want to look up. Even Clarence X, you know, you know, the gods of earth. So, hell, even Elijah Muhammad, I don't diss certain figures that help the people. But when you add things and try to say it's historical, and when you say history or ancient times, I'm a historian. I don't care who it is. The spirit said I can check that. And spirit should be able to check spirit. And it has no jurisdiction of age. If you say you a scholar and an educator and you saying some stuff that's pseudo and you sincere and you sincerely wrong, well, you should have enough spirit in you and gratitude to correct yourself. Just like I would. That's why I tell people, I said, this science that I operate is not Al-Islam. If you see my background, I grew up in my city of Flint. I studied all the sciences. I gravitated to higher wisdom because I understand it. Because that's what I'm supposed to do as an initiate for me. Everybody's story is different. My story ain't the same as somebody else's story. Your story ain't the same as somebody else's story. But this is my story. And this is the level that I became. And I tell people, I ask a lot of people, I said, man, I'm getting ready to be 50 next year. I done seen everything, did everything, traveled everywhere. A lot of stuff that people want to do, I've done it. I can tell you what's going to happen, especially if you're younger than me. Especially if you're not operating in your higher self, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. Especially if you think what you're doing is right with a whole bunch of paper stuff. I can tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you. And the only reason why I know, a lot of people haven't been around enough. Because social media and people got hip to this during the pandemic. And people got hip to the conscious community and a lot of stuff I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. But people know. I just say in general. And you can put a tag to where it belongs. These is facts, man. I tell people just like studying and research, you don't want to consume yourself with just data. It's just like if you was a student and I say study this, when I tell people I can get you there faster than you can get yourself. Why? Because I lived it and I done it and I'm a teacher. So if I recommend things and I highlight everything, just imagine if I can give you a 400-page book and I say all this is going to be on the test. And in that book, I highlight everything specific for you. All the words, everything that you need to know, tell you what they mean and all they meanings in their entirety. That's what a map and a guide does. And this is what I'm telling people. You can do anything on your own. But that's what people don't understand. It's just like I know some people that shoe shine people and they shine shoes. You can shine your shoes on your own. But why would you do that? And you know this is this person's profession. You deal with the shoe shine man. Or you dealing with somebody that can show you some stuff that you may not have never heard of and introduce you to wisdom that you may not have never heard of and may not have access to it. That's a map and a guide. Just say if a certain, just like one of my students was like, say Sheik, if you wasn't on social media and you stop just showing everything and you just do it privately, nobody would know the things that they want to know or they think they know, want to know. Why? Because you wouldn't be, I wouldn't be revealing it. When I tell people I know my family, I know my family crest, I know my coat of arms, I know the magic work my granddad did and my grandma did. You know, my grandma was a noble woman with the turban on. And when you see Superman with the curly Q, my great grandma got the curly Q. My Empress great great grandma got the curly Q. I was able to know what my family is. Most of my family came from Florida, on land. You know, and I love when people say a lot of stuff just from the so-called continent of Africa per se. No, it ain't. When I say African spirits and things, our elders and our ancestors that came from these places bring things back to us. I know people from certain places and they grandfathers and mothers are medicine men and medicine women. They ain't even into that. I know other people, a lot of my native people, and they parents are really, really into their tribal stuff, and all they experience in their life experience, they have it tatted on them. Their kids know nothing about it. Nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. And so for myself, I was just able to be adopted in a lot of things, especially when I had my building in Arizona and I met the sensei. You know, when I first started studying Wing Chun, when I had my own metaphysical building, I studied Wing Chun for years. And I used to teach it. I didn't teach it. The sensei used to teach it. And I used to have the classes for free. So I know what the heart can do when you righteous. You know? I know what the spirit does. And a lot of times, if the heart ain't right, if the essence is not right, a lot of stuff is just meaningless. Because it's still everything still have to be with the intention. The attention have to be number uno. And I'm speaking in layman terms for my people. What? The intention has to be on point. I don't care what you're doing. If the intention not right, if the spirit not right before you going in there, is you really playing. You know? And so I respect all brothers. Everybody Islam. Everybody Islam. Everybody science. Because that's what makes us one nationality and many cultures. That's what makes us a body of understanding. That's what if people say they understand the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I told y'all I'll give y'all. It's a book called, it's a little piece of literature called The Negro, aka The Blackamoor. And I've been telling people about that forever. You need to get it. And you read it for yourself. And you read it all and you look at the bottom who had this stuff already. And you start researching the little things and start comparing and contrasting. When I'm telling you, we have to understand this. This is for us to understand. This is not for us to be debating with anyone. This is for us to understand. And if you understand wisdom, if you understand level of Islam, and you might be under a lower level Islam, with all due respect, and say you do 5 salats, that's on you. If I'll do anything which I will do because I give credit to all the prophets, I do the al salat. My salat is done standing. I don't mind doing it no other way. Also in the biblical scriptures, you prostrated, you got on your knees, all ways the same way you pray in the Quran is in the biblical scriptures. But I connect myself to what? God. And that's my time of rest. If you understand, you understand. If you don't understand, that's okay. But it's there. And that's why I tell people I don't have a problem with what nobody do. But I don't operate outside myself. You know? And so I make that plain with brothers and sisters. Well, do you do this? No, no, nope, no. I tell you all face, no, I don't operate like that. Do I understand if that's what you do? Yes. You pay homage like that, that's great. But me, as Sufi, as Allah in the flesh, I don't gravitate to nothing outside of myself. And I'm under the Al Salat. And I gathered and compiled the information if brothers and sisters want to know. I gave the ayats. And then I also would give the Sufi hadiths. You know? And Allah loved the Sufi hadith. If you don't know that. But, hey, it is what it is. And that's what I'll be telling us. It is what it is. Because before a lot of these things per se was brought to us, what did we have? What did we have before we had these so-called things? When people talk about, these outside entities, these religious entities, when you see a brother and they give homage to the sheiks in the flesh and Sheikh Sufi and maps and guides in the flesh that you can touch. What did other people have before then? We had our maps and guides and our medicine men, and our elders. We had that. And we still do. Now, for myself, as an American, because an American and I went to university, I understand. I wanted to understand. I've been through ministry. I did all that. But I speak and I teach truth at all times. And that's what I'll be telling a lot of people. I said, your grandma and them, everybody, your cousins and them, they probably right now went and bought their Easter suits. I bet you if somebody on here right now, guaranteed out of the sound of my voice, know that they family that went and bought their Easter hookup. And if you did, you did. Whatever. But at the same time, what I be telling people, I ain't worried about what nobody doing. If I say I do this and I operate in this manifestation, I'm gonna seek that out, and I'm gonna help anyway to get that brick and mortar, so we can have something to compare to. But it's coming. When I tell people, I'm not ashamed of my background. I grew up in the city of Flint. I've been through the fire. I told people, my baby brother was murdered. Hakim Goodman Bey. I lost my baby brother. We looked like twins to these streets. I lost my cousin Miguel Swain to these streets. My homie Mike Ville to these streets. My homie Marlon Ville to these streets. All from our own kind. And when people say this, and that, and the other, no one is infiltrating us. This is us doing this to us. This is us not loving us. This is us trying to tell somebody what they can and can't do, or what they can wear and can't wear, and not understanding who we are as a people. It's like, hold on. We are people. And a lot of us people understand. Hold on, I think I can cut my light on right here. Hold on. Ah, got a little light. All right, all right, all right. We popping now. We popping a little bit. That's bright. Hold on, y'all. Oh, let me see something. Oh, no, that's cool. That's cool. Hold up. But yeah, that's all I be telling people, man. Because I know a lot of my Rastafarian brothers that deal with Haile Selassie, and I deal with the science. When I talk about the Shishat, when I talk about the cannabis Christ, like I have brothers that I deal with. Even when I deal with my Indian homeboys, they have their prophet in the flesh. They have their Baba in the flesh, melanated. You know? So that's when I say, and that's when you see the prophet, when you saw the little piece of literature I'm telling everybody they need, the Negro, the Indian, the Blackamoor, you're gonna see all those brothers with them different headdresses that created the Moorish Zion Temple of America. All those misnomer Black Masons, all those brothers, ancient mystic shrine created all that. Brothers from different backgrounds. Remember, if y'all follow me on TikTok, remember it's a book called The Chosen One with Winworth Matthews now in front of the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Jews. And then you see, I showed y'all the picture that the turbans were worn in the misnomer black churches and signified the mystical East when worn by misnomer black men. And the brother that got the turban on is as Ab Allah, the Ethiopian rabbi, the teacher of Neville Goddard. You know, the European sage mystic that everybody say heavy? Research him, Neville Goddard, and research the Ethiopian rabbi that taught Neville Goddard on YouTube. And if you want the book, I'll give it to you. I'm telling you, it's nothing new under the sun. It's all science. Even Pascal Beverly Randolph, Manly P. Hall, Adam Blavatsky, they'll tell you it's more science. They learn from Sufis. I'm telling you what I know. Even Aleister Crowley, it's watered down science. They just reversed it. If you look at Aleister Crowley hat with the eye in it, it's just watered down. It's like playing a record backwards. I'm telling you what I know. It's like Tantra Magic played backwards. I'm telling you what I know. Okay, there you go. So that's what I'm saying, man. I respect and obey all the laws and the prophets. And I tell everybody, don't be too fast just getting caught up in books and books and getting in a hamster wheel. Because it happened to all young pupils. I know too many. They get consumed. And they don't know how to navigate on this earth plane. And they become a pest to be around. I'm telling you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My brothers that's not really, really spiritual. Because if you're really, really spiritual, don't nobody have no problem with you. And I be telling all my spiritual brothers, you don't have to defend nothing. You don't have to defend nothing we do. Because if it was no social media, we would even be letting these spirits have us to even be defending something that's not even should be defended. Because it have its own defense. I'm telling you. And when we do that, it shows a lower level of what? What we understand. We don't have to teach nobody nothing about what's inside. Remember that. If we're going to teach something, we should just teach wisdom and science, but nothing personal, because nobody don't have to believe in our personal understanding unless they want an ear for that. That's why I tell people you can't let who you are mess up what you do. If you a teacher, if you an educator, if you a doctor, you gonna let who you are mess it up because you a doctor. I know a lot of priests. I know a lot of medicine men that's doctors. I know a lot of people from Africa and a lot of people from misnomer India and all these places that you will see them and they chiefdom when they attire and they really holy men. They ain't let they profession, they ain't mess nothing up. It's their profession. Just like I have one. Just like if your kid was taking my class and I was teaching them history, you would want them to. If I was teaching business and it's how to set up a business and micro and macro management, you would want your kid to learn. If I was teaching biology and metaphysics, you would want your kid to learn from me. Why? Because I'm going to teach it the right way. That's why. And they might say, "Oh yeah, my teacher, he's a sheik, he's a medicine man. But he a teacher. I wear many hats." That's what I be telling people. I say, "Where your kids go to school?" They go to this public school. Okay. Where did you go? Okay. Okay. Do you want your kid to have a good education? Yes. Do you want your kid to seek the best and believe in what and things that's for them? Yes. So if that's the case, why would you promote anything else? Why would you promote anything that's not good for a child? I always be asking these brothers and sisters this. Why would you promote anything that's not good for a baby? So if that's the case, when I tell people what are we teaching, I always stand silent with this. That's why I give my time in my free time because this is my charity. I'm like, come on, man. We have to be adults with our thinking. If you didn't go to higher education, if you didn't go to higher wisdom, this is the place. If you want to know civics and all that, I give you things to research for education purposes only. My brother A Bay, he on here. He always pop on here and he be like for education purposes only. And my brother A Bay is a fact checker as well, and he's an elder. I be telling people, I said, man, I don't deal with young men. I done been through there. I done been through the fire. I be telling people this. Anybody that's younger than me or as old as me, you got to know what's going on. You got to know the truth from falsehood. If not, it's something wrong with that mental. And then we got to fix that. That's some other type of counseling you need from me. Real talk. Man, real talk, man. So we should be able to have these conversations and remove the falsehood. Remove the I heard or someone said. We don't have to deal with that as adults. Everything is precedented. When we dealing with law, you have precedented law cases. You have the doc numbers. You have Free Information Act. You have quid pro quo. You have the Chicago Law Review. You have all these things we can fact check things to be like, man, don't do that. We have doc numbers. This is what I tell my brothers and sisters. It's a way to do things the right way. When I tell people, what is the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? I always ask my brothers and sisters when they say, well, they don't know this. Because when I talk about law governs all events, when I talk about life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness, when I talk about what really pertains to false arrest, when I talk about things they discuss in Harvard and Oxford, when I talk about Charles A. Wiseman and all these things and the aims of law, when I break things down lawfully in real time to tell you exactly what's going to happen, and our brothers and sisters still do the things that they know that's not right. Why? Because what I'm saying goes against all that. This is why. And everything that I say, I guarantee you, with the twitch of a finger, you can research right then. You can be like, yep, 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 yep. So if everything I speak on is yep, 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 why we ain't popping? Why we don't have millions of followers and people spreading the wisdom? Tell me why. If people say we don't have a library and all this, and I can introduce you to things that you may not never heard of, you probably can do it on your own because anybody can do their roof, anybody can cut their hair. But why would we do that? And funds can be circulated. And we barter. This is what I tell people, man. I said, if I don't show things to people, nobody would never know. If I kept things private, nobody would never know about a lot of stuff that's written academically from a scholarship perspective. When I talk about the Philosophical Research Society, I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I'm always going to be transparent. I've been part of the Philosophical Research Society for years. And when people be saying stuff, I'll be like, oh man, if I say something, it's going to make a person heart just crumble because it's factual what I'm speaking on. Everything is written. It's like it's almost like when people write things in their chattel per se. Everything is written. And when people, when you're a part of groups and things, and like when I talk about a lot of my Scottish Rite Masons, that's professors that I had the pleasure to meet in Arizona, different nationalities, and they sons of Muslims. The reason why I'm always stand strong in what I'm saying, because when the other man identified me as their sheik, as Melchizedek, I know because they identify as sons of Muslims. And in their charter, they respect all true Muslims. All my Scottish Rite Masons, that's different nationalities, they'll tell you out their mouth that they are a son of a Muslim. Everyone. So I just operate on that level playing field. When I say all the signs, if I can show you all the signs and symbols and break them down and show you all the signs and symbols are elementary tools, I've been showing y'all this. In the ancient signs and symbols, I've been showing y'all all signs and symbols the other day. I got a whole bunch more, and I'm breaking them down in pieces. I can do all the Masonic symbology, just like when I told you that the circle and the square and the so-called square is the hex alpha, but the circle and the square, they both have 360 degrees, but just different parameter. What do you mean, Sheik? They both have 360 degrees, but different parameter. What do you mean, Sheik? Okay, so you got your compass, right? And your so-called square on your Masonic, right? When you think it belonged to some outside yourself. But those are two tools. What? You got one that was on your pencil, and the other one is a ruler. Both of those tools can circumscribe the circle and the square. They just different parameters. What do you mean, Sheik? I take the circle, a line down the middle, line across. What you get? 90, 90, 90, 90, right? Of course. You can take the dango square. Boom, boom. Line down, what you get? 90, 90, 90, 90. I can take that same square, right? Put a line, a little square on one corner, a little square on one corner, a little square on one corner, a little square on the corner, 90, 90, 90. Now, I can take the so-called misconnotated swastika, right? Connect it all, it's going to be the same thing. What? The circle or the circle 7 per se. God and man is coming in one. And those indentions, I'll leave it like that. It'll be just like the circle 7 per se. Just like all different Masonic symbology, it's just mathematical equations. All Masonic symbology are just lower level mathematical equations. I call them 32 degrees of wisdom. In meteorology, that's snowman wisdom. That's when water freezes. With all due respect, with no disrespect to no one, for education purposes only. How about that? You know? Because I'm not here to tell nobody what to believe in. I'm just letting you know how I rock and what I have the pleasure to be able to do. You know, and not fall under things that's under me and argue with people. What? I can do the same thing that others done before us. What? Get my own charter, get my own brotherhood, author my own books with my own pennies, do my own work. You know, publish my own books. I'm telling y'all, when I was in academia, I converted so many books to ebooks. It's a lot more I can talk about. And people be like, dang, I didn't know that. I got stuff from Oxford. I got stuff from Cambridge. I got stuff from the Library of Congress to show you that the Turks are the Moors. So when people be talking about stuff, I said, man, I'll go right in the Library of Congress. You want to deal with that? Psh, I already gave y'all a nugget. It's a book called The One World Tartarians. It's cheap. It's only about like $20 on Amazon. I donate that to somebody. All people got to do is donate $5. I'll give you all the stuff. You want them as ebooks for you can travel with it. And then you want that money to circulate. Why? Because we do a good with it, and I'm going to give you more. I'm telling you. And the One Word Tartarians is going to illuminate a lot too. Why? Because everything is written. It's written in the chattel. I'm telling you. Anything a person talk about lawfully is written. It's docked, aka doc number. Anybody talking about they went to court, anything, it's a phrase called the Free Information Act. When I be saying cap, I know it be cap. Why? Because I know all of them government name. I told y'all I reside in Arizona. I'm not gonna say nobody names, but they know. They know not to say nothing and get on this social media because they turned around with their hair all over their head and looked at me with my fez on, and I almost spit my tea out because the referee was my professor. And it was the brother coming with all that fake stuff, and they got him. They got him. I took a picture when I was working at my store, If y'all follow me for years on my YouTube channel, I took a picture with, you know, a lot of these dignitaries. One of them just came back from Morocco. An old man, he had on his shirt with Morocco on everything. He used to see me every day with my fez on. So I'm telling people what I know from love and from wisdom and from science. Just like when I be saying Islamic teachings, I don't be saying it like Islam per se. You know, when we talk about uh, uh, um, Mansa Musa and all these Islamic brothers and sisters from that aspect. Now, the thing is, you have to understand what type of Islam we're talking about. That's all. It's just like what type of so-called Christianity some individuals is under, because you got all different type of crosses. You got the Coptic cross. You got all type of things, and if people understand the essence of things, like the sustainability, fire, earth, air, river, then we're gonna have to start talking about something totally different. You see? So now we start talking about what? Understanding and synchronicity when we use things for the right way. It's just a higher level of wisdom and understanding. That higher level of wisdom and understanding will give you peace and joy. I always ask people before you do anything, do you love yourself? Do you love your life? If you say no, then nothing you do is going to be worthy of anything. Why? Because you don't even love you. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. It's a lot more I can say, man. I got a lot of stuff in database that'll have y'all blowing y'all mind because I know what people into on the social media. I know what people into in social media, especially these fictitious people with these fictitious names. I know what that's all about, y'all. Once you look up Roger Elvick, once you look up Roger Elvick, and then tell me is that same language synonymous to what these brothers and sisters is doing right now? With all due respect, right? Because if you operate under a certain covenant and the covenant have a holy book, you should know the holy book. You should know the holy book is gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared from what? When I say gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared, that means it come from some things. What are the things it come from? The Brahmin text, the Vestas, the Unto Thee I Grant, biblical text, you know, and that's just a small tittle. And in the Unto Thee I Grant, a lot of word for word. In the Moorish Akashic records, a lot of word for word. Like chapter 20 to almost 22, it's the same. With all due respect. So if we have a divine holy book and you see people trying to promulgate and telling you Moors are al Islamic, I say, how is that? And somebody that's pick up their Moorish Quran right now, if you could Google it and tell me what each chapter of the Moorish Quran speaks about. And then you're gonna start having people coming up making up all this fake mixed mystic stuff, not understanding the synchronicity of what it's talking about. I promise you. Because if we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood, what does that mean? If we want to talk biblically, regardless of what you believe in. When I start speaking Kabbalistically and historically, it really doesn't matter what you believe in. If things can be proven from what? The things that a person say, okay, well, prove it. Remember, like a lot of people don't want proof to be lied to, but they want all the proof in the world for the truth. Isn't that ironic? but it is what it is. Think about it. Just think about it for a second, really. When a person or an individual will say, well, this religion is better than that, and that is better than this. And I say, okay, if I deal with the origin of both, and I can say they both Fuji dust, and I can blow them both in the air with dust from scholarship, what can anybody say? Really, when I say from scholarship, because you can fact check me. I have a dual master's degree from a Christian university, from Grand Canyon University. I have a dual master's degree in first century history and religion and linguistics. I spoke just like this. So when people say things and promulgate things because they be upset, I say, well, regardless of that, if we're going to deal with the facts of the matters and lay both of them out on the table and deal with principality and break it down and do the work and do the linguistics, I'm going to be able to show you that I can draw them both up like Fuji dust per se and blow them away as dust, because it's going to be based on just tradition, not law per se. With all due respect, with all due respect, with all due respect from scholarship, and that's just the facts. Now, when we're dealing with the context, when I deal with the esoteric understanding, when I deal with the mental, when I deal with the body, when I deal with the Masorats, when I deal with what the scriptures is really talking about, because the biblical scriptures is written in analogy, parable, and symbology, then yes, because man is made in the image of Elohim. So when I say arm, leg, arm, head, when I say perfect penta, when I break down all this God consciousness, etc., when I say Sophia is the female counterpart of wisdom, when I break down Baphomet, the cove and the volta, when you see the snake going up the chalice, when you see the so-called animal figure and the breast per se, that's man and woman coming together. Remember, all so-called scary figures are nothing but pious hieroglyphs, with all due respect. And if you're not initiated, you're not going to understand the Kabbalistically speaking or the Gnostic science that I'm delivering. And that's why it was written. Why? For those that don't understand, to stay away from it and don't use nothing as power. I'm telling you what I know, and what's facts. That's how you stand up and arise with all due respect. And we give love to all the prophets in the flesh. And I don't diss no one. Why would I diss Haile Selassie? Because other men have dissed him, because they want to be better than this person. They want to be better than that. And I say, no, all men done a good. When I know the history, I know all these people was under a certain type of brotherhood. I know this. I know Elijah Muhammad is under a certain brotherhood. I know most brothers was under a certain brotherhood. Sheikh Anta Diop was under a certain brotherhood. Why? Ivy Van Sertin was under a certain brotherhood. Dr. Ben was under a certain brotherhood, because during those times you had to be. I'm telling you, you wanted to be, because that's all you had. I'm telling you. And when it's dealing with masonry per se, no matter if a person like it or not, if you learning something in there, which you should be learning the Osiris mysteries, because that's all it is when you're dealing with those Kemetic degrees, then you learning something. Dr. Ben was under a certain type of masonry. All these brothers was. I got all their pictures with their fez on. Just like the Miss Norma Albion, the trailer doc, the European was, with all due respect. J. Edgar Hoover, all of them. You see, they got Arabia, Atlantis, Islam, Egypt on their fez. Why you think? Why you think they don't have Europe on it and Bolivia on it? And Corsica, even though the Corsica flag is the Moorish head, even though swarty mean melanated, even though brunette mean melanated. You see what I'm saying, family? You see what I'm saying, y'all? So what's the fight? What's the argument? Once again, what's the fight and what's the argument? It's a lack of knowledge, and it's a misunderstanding. And most of our people have a misunderstanding. And didn't the biblical scripture says our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge? Last time I checked. Okay. I'm about to be done. Yeah. People hit me up. But like I'm saying, yo, I have a full library. What do you say? Eric Malik, Melanin book. What do you say? Eric Evans. Brother Eric, man, I think if you on here, you gotta look at your email and look at. I think that's you, brother Bay Falls. Look at your email. Look at all the books you asked for. If I'm not mistaken, I sent you everyone on the list. They might not have the names of them, but just look at them and see if those are the books that you asked for. Cause I know I sent you a plethora of them, and you see out here I'll be getting bad reception, but I sent you a plethora of them. Well, my homeboy just sent me a message. He said, "Sheik, no one will even be knowing what you talk about if you don't introduce it." But like I tell people, I'm not a gatekeeper. I lecture this stuff, man. I got other nationalities, man. I done lectured this stuff for over years. Like this stuff I'm talking about right here is 5 years old. I got books that's $10,000. I got documents of so-called slave records and stuff from people, families, and things like real records, and then Amazon selling this stuff on a site for 10 grand. I got Marcus Garvey letters that's 3,600 on Amazon, and they selling it for 3,600 because it's in a frame. I get all this stuff from the doctoral libraries. Anything that anybody have, I'm connected to it. Why? Because I'm academia, and I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. With all due respect, it's nothing that nobody's going to have that I'm not going to be able to get, or I already don't have in my library. With all due respect, when I told people like 5 years ago about Russian icons, it's a book called Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. When they got all the icons melanated, and then when I start showing y'all stuff about what the Moors and Saint Maurice, and start connecting the biblical history, you're gonna start seeing things. You're gonna start seeing the Moors and the Tetrarchs in Egypt. You're gonna start seeing so much stuff, and I'm gonna start connecting science all together because it goes together. When I show you the Eye of Horus, it's the same symbology of one of the African symbols. Why? Because it's the same thing. The so-called Eye of Horus and one of our African symbols is the same symbology. When I break it all down in pieces in its molecules and then build it back together, it's the same thing. We just don't know that. I promise you this. And so that's what I be telling people is like a person can get just like in martial arts when the sensei have the manual and he tell the student, okay, just be patient, I'm gonna teach you it. And the student might get the manual and don't know how to master the moves and go out and try to fight, and get whooped by another master because they know what you under, but they know you ain't been there long enough to understand the real science in it. Why? Because what's going and what's promulgating, people like to try to acquire things to try to test it on people. And people don't get the symbology in these things. And so in a lot of martial art movies, the whole thing is learning, going through that. Why? To know. And it gives you gratitude. How? Not to go out and try to test it, but when you are tested, the gratitude that you come, the learning that you know, is you can easily defend yourself. And this is what I'm saying. And a lot of times the eagerness a lot of people have because they read with no application, with no map and guide. And so all it becomes is data, with all due respect. With all due respect, I'm telling how and why would you say that, she? Because I know. If any of my muftis jumped on here, they'd be like, you telling the truth. I know a young brother that tried to get psychomancy right and read the whole book and then went home and then trying to psychoanalyze his family and all that played itself. Why? Because people be thinking when they read something, they know something better than someone, and your life be in shambles. And then people try to use this stuff and try to psychoanalyze people and destroy themselves. I'm telling you what I know. Everything, it's just like a straight razor. I wouldn't give a kid a straight razor at a young age and they don't know how to use it. And it's the same way with wisdom. But if a person wants something, I'm going to give it to them. Why? Because I'm a giver. Can you mess yourself up with things? Absolutely. Why? Just like with grammar writings, with a lot of grammar, people be wanting a grammar, and I'll be like, dude, why do you want this? I'm like, what do you know about this type of grammar? They be like, well, nothing. I just want to read. I say, you don't want to read it. Why? Because if you read things and have it and they don't know how to get things off, then what's the whole purpose? Without a map and a guide, what's the purpose? Because it's a purpose for, it should be a purpose for everything. Not just, well, I just want to read it. No, this ain't no love. A lot of stuff is not love stories when it's that level. When it's dealing with the mind, when it's dealing with things that can really, really play on your subconsciousness. And I'd be telling people, I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, I know. I'm almost 50. You need certain things. You need certain maps. You need certain allies. You need, just like if you was going to school and you failing and you like, I'm going to drop out. And they say, why? Sheik right there. He'll help you. You know Sheik. Oh, damn, I do. You know he alumni from here. Oh, for real? Stop playing. Stop playing. You know he alumni from here. And you failing and you know this person personally. And you don't seek him out. And everybody know him. This is the thing what I'm saying. That's what we do. We're supposed to attach to these things that can bring things to us. This is what I be telling people, man. And we be missing it. Watch this. So I got a one of my partners, right? A different nationality. He's 75. He live in Detroit. He owns a library, one of the oldest libraries in Detroit. Got all Gnostic wisdom. I go down there probably. Shoot, man. I was like, man, give me a room in there because there's so many books in my storage unit. I have 3 filled with books, organized, but a lot of people not into this stuff, and so he's giving me a lot of stuff. And so I'm trying to figure out how to house all these things before he shut down. And it's one of the oldest Gnostic libraries in Detroit. And a lot of people don't even know about it. And I'd be like, how y'all don't know about this library? And about all these ancient documents that's up in here. But whatever. I'm building my library, my physical library as we speak. But Brother Bey, as I know what you be talking about, Brother Bey. Right? I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. I'm with you all the way on everything. All the stuff and like they sell on Amazon that a lot of they're gonna try to make apps obsolete in a minute. I'm gonna be research everything and had everything and database everything just like Google did. Google spent $25 million on taking books and turning them to ebooks. That's how I like a lot of books. I have the originals and a lot of the books they took chapters out. Like it's a book called The Arab by Bertram Thomas, right? And one of the chapters, I think it's like page 90 something, where it's give you the genetic and the Carmen Dayton of who the ancient Arab is. But he already tell you who the ancient Arab is anyway. Then I got this old dictionary by Vladimir Dale. He a Russian, and he telling you what the ancient Arab is, not Arab, Arap, the ancient Arab, Arap, the ancient Arab, a Russian professor scholar. Yeah, I'm telling you, I got a whole bunch more, and that's why I said, like my professor said, it like nobody's not gonna know if you don't tell them about what you know. That's why I said I'm not gonna die without. Well, all my muftis get everything from me for pennies, but a lot of stuff like my noble Dante is gonna illuminate some. And he showed it to his mother. She was like, "How the heck did you get this?" And he was like, "My sheep." And she was like, "Well," and then they parents be knowing because it's only gonna be a certain individual or certain individuals that's connected to certain things that's gonna be able to have certain wisdom. With all due respect. And I bring everything back to my people. So when I ask people, have you heard of things that I've gave? Like my homeboy said, he's like, hell no, I ain't never heard of that book, Melanin, The Chemical Key to Black Greatness. He was like, until you talked about it. And he was like, ain't nobody else never heard about it. But then he was like, and then I'll show you all this stuff Bobby Hemmett be having in the background of all his lectures. I got everything saved. Bobby Hemmett be having this in his background. It's another book called DMT, The Spirit Molecule by a doctor. I lectured this years ago. DMT, the spirit molecule that's in us. And in the background of one of Bobby Hemmett lectures, the book there. The book Melanin is back there. A whole bunch of other books that I have is behind Bobby Hemmett. I have Bobby Hemmett's whole library. I have all our scholars' whole library. With all due respect, and I'm not bragging or boasting. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling what it is with all love, with no disrespect, and I'm not boasting. Oh, I don't want to hit my cigar on here. Yeah, my friend got me some CUBANs back, and I want him to come live. I hope he come live. He's in town for a couple months, visiting his family. But yeah, man, that's all, family. That's all I'll be wanting to share with everybody and talk to people because I just want people to be who they are. I want people to have the wisdom. I want people to rock with me, man. I give you way more. And I can introduce you to a lot. I promise you this. I done gave y'all a nugget. It's a piece of wisdom called the Negro is the Indian, aka the Blackamoor. Y'all need that. I'm telling you, you need that. It ain't that long, but when you open it, when you read it, you're gonna be like, man. And when you see who had this document, when you get to the last page and look at the bottom of the paper of the document, and you're gonna see who had it, and you're gonna be like, well, how these individuals that look like us act like they don't know what she talking about? You're gonna be like, uh-huh, you gonna know. You gonna know. I told you. And the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper when you come with wisdom. I promise you. And truth has no sides. Remember that. So, how long I been going? Let me see. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. Let me go grab some. I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes. I'm gonna show y'all some things, and I'm out of here. 1 second. Tell him I'm on the deck. Yeah, tell him he can come back here. I'm on the deck. No, it feel good. It feel good out here, man. It feel real good. You can come on out here and join me. Yeah, you can come join me. Had to get me some OT, man. I drink it cold, warm, whatever. It don't make me no different. But yeah, man. So let me share this with y'all real fast. Let me see if I can find something for y'all. I'll share a couple pieces with y'all. Oh, so one of my homeboys and when y'all like when you see this necklace I be wearing right here, he was like, "Man, that's the necklace that you be wearing." Bobby Hemmett got that. I was like, "Yeah, like that necklace." One of my homeboys make them, and he got it. Like I got like probably like 10 more of them, and I keep them and I give them to all my movies. But a lot of stuff I have, I tell everybody if y'all be interested in anything I have, all you gotta do is ask. But anyway, like this right here, like I said, I'll show a couple pieces. show a couple pieces. I show a couple pieces. And everything that I showed, I lectured all this stuff already in college at Grand Canyon University. My professor used to love when I lecture because he was like, well, if you're going to come from scholarship, oh well, regardless if they like it or not. Henry Ford wrote a book called The International Jew. You know Henry Ford, the Ford Motor Company? He wrote a book called The International Jew. I have them in all different, from different perspectives and things. Because I told you I'm a collector. Everything I have the hard copy books. Everything I have. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Arthur Koestler. Y'all ever heard of Arthur Koestler, the 13th Tribe? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I told y'all about a lot of books, The Hidden Messages in Water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got a lot of books that's old, like the ancient Coptic churches of Egypt. Mm-hmm. And I know most, like my boy, he just said, ain't nobody never heard of this stuff, Sheik. And so only reason why we know because you showing. And he was like, it's amazing how all this stuff synchronized together. Yeah, of course. Of course it should, because that's what it does. People be talking about the macabre and the Ethiopian cross, and when I be showing things in all symbology, when I be talking about the virile and all these symbology, it's like, I'll give you an analogy. What's the little young boy name? Kai Sinat, Kai Sanada. I think that's his name. If that's not his name, I think y'all know his name. But anyway, the symbology of his logo is an ancient symbol. And the only reason why I know, when I saw it, I was like, oh. I said, I know what. I said, I know what that is. I said, I know what that is. I have the symbol. I wear it. I just got it double. It almost looked like a cross, but when you see one, and then my man, what's his name? That's with the president, the dude, the Tesla dude. He have one on his desk. Yup. Uh-huh. Yup. Mm-hmm. 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 This is Charles A. Wiseman right here. Charles A. Wiseman is what they study in Oxford and Harvard. He the one that wrote Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness and False Imprisonment and all that stuff and the Axioms of Law. This is Charles A. Wiseman right here. Now one of the documents that I have it paper because they don't sell it. Well, if they do sell it, it costs like 1,500 on Amazon. But I have the whole document that they teach. It's a whole course that they teach in Harvard, and they teach it for like 3 months. And I have the whole course, and a professor gave it to me. I know a professor at Ohio State. I know a professor at a lot of universities. I know a professor named Spencer Dew. It's a European Albion troglodyte, whatever you want to call it. He wrote a book called The Aliyhites about Noble Drew Ali. And when he wrote the book, when he met me before the pandemic, we talked about some things, but everybody have the right to write from their perspective, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Here's another piece of wisdom. When you see a historical record, when you see a historical record, and I said I had the pleasure to research and do a lot in academia, man, and gather and compile a lot of stuff. People be like, what? And then when you look at it, you'll be like, what in the heezy for sheezy? because I know a lot of people ain't never heard of this stuff. I know this. I know this for a fact. So you should want things to be revealed to you and go over, because if not, it's just data. If not, it's just data. So yeah, I got to get out of here, man. I'm just showing a little tittle, but I have much more. What he say? He was like, man, you dang right, bro. Well, nobody would know exactly. He was like, thank you. What he say? Thank you. Thank you too, bro. I'll show y'all this. Like a lot of people be talking about the Anunnaki, and when you research Zachariah extension, that's all pseudo academia. It's the Iberian. I'm telling you, all that stuff Zachariah extension talk about is pseudo. I start showing you all the stuff be looking the same. I guarantee you. When you talk about Laban, this is the Laban when it means literally white, and you get caught up in the wrong thing and the wrong misconnotation, because a lot of people don't know what they be talking about, what Laban really consists of. Because if you say Laban, and if you say Laban was a so-called European or white race per se, with all due respect, well then you saying Jacob married. Well, then you saying Jacob married, with all due respect, the misnomer white man, two daughters. Then you're gonna have to start looking crazy in the face, with all due respect. And then there's nothing you can say. When I say we have to be educated in what? Everything. We have to be educated in everything, family. So I just wanted to share little pieces of wisdom. And like I said, I have much more. But I don't get caught up in all that paper tear and all. Well, I don't want to say that because they'll strike me. I don't want to get caught up with that lower level stuff. And everybody got the opportunity to ask questions about what's really going on. I hear them deers in the back. I want to see if I want to see if they come close, because I'll be leaving feed on the deck, and they'll come all the way up, the turkeys and everything, and just eat the feed. But I be wanting people to ask questions, man, and and we have dialogue for you won't get caught up in none of the stuff that you see on the internet. And that's all I be telling my people. I'm here to help you. I'm here to I be knowing what's going on. Everything people be talking about, especially the empresses, and I'd be like, why you just don't seek me out? And you wouldn't have got caught up in that. I could have told you. I could have showed you the language. I could have showed you the vibration. All the stuff people be talking about, they can get you this and they can file this. It's not real, because if they did anything in these courts, it would be a track record. It would be a doc number of what? Tracking what these individuals have done. So you don't have to listen to what nobody's saying. Nobody is no guru. Oh, my friend is a financial advisor, and he give you credit. That you can't. That's a you. That's no. When people say, "Well, what should I do?" Pay what you was supposed to pay on time, and don't get caught up in things that you can't handle, and then know how to handle things the right way, and then do business as a business. The only how can I say, reserve right that you need to reserve is your right with doing business. So when you get anything, when you go into contract, you should reserve your rights as well. How? To defend yourself. You must reserve your right. That's why most people are not entities, because most people don't do things as a business. You do things as your personal self. So everything that you're dealing with is in your personal name. With all due respect, I do business as an entity. What do you mean, Sheik? DBA. Everything that I do business as. My trucks, everything at home is under my business. Everything I do is under my business. A part of my home is under my business. Everything I do is under my business. When I'm in ministry, it's under my nonprofit business. I don't care what nobody say. That's how I'm able to do work in schools. That's how I'm able to get universities and professors and people that have money to donate, and I give them a tax and receipt. That's how people are rocking with me. So I'm gonna be able to build our temple and school in my city of Flint. That's what I'm concerned about. Like I'm back home in my city. We don't have nothing. We don't have no library. We don't have no schools, and then we don't have no real temples. I'm about to change the world. With all due respect, I'm about to change the world. Watch, I'm we gonna ready to buy one of these churches that ain't operating and turn to our temple and school and our community center and a safe house. Yes, sir. And then we're gonna be buying houses in the neighborhood, turning them and bringing people back to our community. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I be telling people to ask, ask, ask. You won't get caught up in nothing. You won't get caught up in no scam. You won't get caught up in nobody saying, oh, you can file this, and oh, you can cancel corporate debt. You won't get caught up in that. You can say, well, show me the proof that you did it. Ain't nobody done none of that. So I don't be wanting nobody to get caught up in that just because somebody got a whole bunch of clothes on or they got a big following. It's not that. This is a Jedi mind trick. And this is all I want y'all to know. You got to know this. And if you don't know, ask some questions. You got to be dealing with reality. Reality. No one over here in any local area is no consulate general of no Morocco or no Moroccan president. If you think that, your mind is warped. And who you think voted these individuals to be in these positions, and then how long is their tenure? You gotta laugh at that. You gotta laugh. And how you some Moroccan general over here in the United States of America, and when you do something that's asinine, you get arrested and you go to their jails and their courts. That should tell you right there that that stuff is fictitious, and that's their religious organization. Come on, brothers and sisters. Man, it should be enough people who are like, yep, you right, Sheik. I know. I know. And everybody know this. Everybody should know this. Everybody should be asking questions like, okay, uh, well, this, that, and the other to remove the fakeness. But what? They don't, because they be so gun ho. Because y'all, it's so many people that's selling you a dream. It's so many people that's selling you paper. And I told y'all that paper stuff is Roger Elvick, Paradigm Group from Canada, and y'all still not listening to me. That's that malicious stuff that the other man talk about. They're gonna overthrow the government and all that. That's the other man, and that's what y'all doing. These brothers saying that they're gonna expatriate from the de facto government. That's what they saying. Hello. Well, I'm live. I'm about to be done. Can I call you right back, bro? All right. Yeah. I told y'all my people be checking on me. My people be checking on me. Come back in my city of Flint. They know it's treacherous. I'm just being honest. My city is treacherous. Like I lost my baby brother in these streets. My baby brother killed Khary Goodman Bey. So when I come home, man, like I'm me. Like I'm not saying like I'm all that, but I'm me. When I'm home, I'm me. I'm able to talk to all people. I'm able to go to all places, all people in different backgrounds, because I'm not one of those. I'm not no Al Islam Muslim. I'm not this. I'm not that. They just call it. I'm just Sheik. I'm a holy man, and I understand. I have to, and everybody give me respect because I give them respect. And that's what I be trying to tell my Moorish brothers and sisters that's gravitating to all this stuff that's not real. It's like I don't care how passionate somebody is about this stuff. I can go way, way deeper with this stuff. Just like I told y'all about the RISE of the MOORS. And what happened with those brothers on the highway. And I told everybody what was going to happen. And they were like, how you know? And I said, dude, because I already know what's going on. I already, listen, y'all, I've been in the business of being a haberdasher for a long, long time. Before anybody known me, I had my suit store in Arizona. I've been a haberdasher of turbans and tunics and everything for a while. And so when this one dude used to stay in the States, but him and this other dude moved to China. And when him and the other dude moved to China, they used to be a part of the RISE of the MOORS. And when they moved to China, they fell out with the dude, with the J. You know, it was another dude with it too, but let's keep it going. And so them people over there in China was making these IDs, also a plate. And everybody talk about these is your plate, woo 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 woo, and they were selling the plate. And them and them other people and him and those people, they fell out. Now, here's the trick bag. When that play happened, these lower level military people, that's lower level that been in the military forever, was already under the eye of the watcher. I'm talking in code. I have to. They were in the eye of the watcher. And so these two individuals was in the eye of the watcher. So when this stuff going on, let me fast forward and go backward as a Quentin Tarantino movie. So one of the brothers that was the truck driver, his name started with a V, Incent. He told everything, and it was recorded on this person video, and the person sent it to me. He was like, "Sheik, you want this for your database?" And I said, when people talk, they used it in the court of the courts. And in this fake court in the basement, the brother told everything. He said he was making a $250,000 driving trucks and blah blah blah. He told everything. And I'm like, why in the heck would you think that this is some real court and telling these people this like they some counseling general or something? You telling these people this stuff like you must lost your marbles. Because if I'm defending you, I'm dropping your case. Wow, faster than you can say, hold on. Because if I'm watching this, I said, dude, I'm done. Why? Because you already done told. You already done told this premeditated. You're already done told. And people don't understand language. And that's what I'll be telling people. You're going to get caught in a burning house every time because you don't know language. With all due respect, I don't care how nobody feel. I love people. And if I love you, I don't want you to get caught up in nothing that's going to hurt your life. And I told people, I said, y'all better watch out. I said the bag is crazy. And they were like, what you mean the bag was crazy? I said, I've seen this. I said, it's a reason why people promulgating this, trying to send this here. It's a reason. It's a reason. It's a reason. It's a reason. And when the trick bag went down, those individuals, it happened, and it went exactly how I said. It went exactly how I said, and I told people that's what happens. Because people playing the game, and when it really come down to the come down, and everybody say they know the law, and everybody say they know this, when you go to court, all these people got what? Court appointed attorneys. And what they do, they plead to less charge. How many of them? All of them. And then what? You don't hear about them no more, do y'all? Do y'all? Do y'all? You don't hear about these brothers no more, do y'all? Because why? They know better. Or they got to go back to where they was at. And most people ain't seasoned enough to know the trick bag by the language. I'm telling y'all, people playing y'all. When I say y'all playing a lot of people on here so hard when they act like they don't know each other, I said they know each other. All of them. They all know each other. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. Not all of them know. And when I told people this, and that's why I said I will never debate no one, but you can't deny nothing I'm saying. So if you can't deny nothing I'm saying, I got to be for the people. I thought this what people wanted, what the truth. So help you God. Now I'm feeling like people, like the movie said, you can't handle the truth. That's how I feel now. Why? You can't handle the truth. Why? Because people can't handle the truth. Why? Because all this stuff is just popping back up. Y'all ain't heard this language before with these individuals? Y'all ain't heard this language before in the conscious community. Y'all ain't heard this same stuff before. Oh, you can follow this, you can follow this. Y'all ain't heard this before. Out of all these different people on social media. Come on. Come on. You know this stuff don't work. You know these people ain't did none of this. Come on, y'all smart. Everyone on here is smart. I know y'all telling the truth, and you can't be mad what I'm saying. You can't tell me none of the stuff you post in work, and you can't tell me none of the stuff you post you done. You cannot tell me that. If you did, just sit on here and say, "Yep, I've done this, Sheik," and yep, here go the president of the record. Yep, I can show you what I've done. Yep, you can't. You can't. With all due respect. So if that's not the case, what's the purpose? I be seeing people posting some of the most outlandish stuff. I be like, okay, that's good, but have you done it? Have you done it? Have you and your family done it? Have your wife done it? Have your spouse done it? Have the woman you dealing with that you say you love and she love you, have you done all the stuff that you posting and promulgating on social media? Absolutely not. No, you're going to work every day. You waiting to get some money back that you think a return and that you gave to Uncle Sam willingly because you don't understand the religious laws. Come on, man. Let's just keep it 100. And that's what we should be doing and telling the truth. So help us God. There ain't nobody out here in America, all that stuff these brothers posting on social media, Brother Bay, they ain't doing none of that. They just posting stuff. They in the rat wheel while they going to work in the plant or at Amazon. Real talk. And if a woman on Section 8 and welfare, you dang sure shouldn't be talking. Why? Because as soon as you do something stupid, they chopping you off. Government assistance. Tell me I'm lying. Then I start telling you what happened to these empresses that be having these dudes in their houses talking that outlandish stuff, and they do that stuff, and they lose all their government assistance. Then they be crying. Talk about you part of somebody's community, citizenship. You done expatriated with your beautiful self. With your beautiful self. I gotta say beautiful, because everybody's beautiful. With your beautiful, amazing self. I gotta say it like that. But you know what I'm trying to say. Please catch what I'm saying. I gotta keep it positive because I don't want to lose my, privilege. For real. For real, man. So everything is beautiful. And I hope I'm educating everybody for education purposes only. I be wanting people to ask me stuff. But I know it ain't nothing you can ask me because everything that you're going to say is going to be, you heard. Everything that you're going to say is going to be like, well, I heard, or somebody said this. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. Ain't nobody done nothing. You heard this, and somebody said this, and then somebody gonna be talking a whole bunch of semantics, but they ain't done it. Why? Because I'm gonna show you what happened to everybody that done that. What? JAIL. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. None of that. That's what happened to all of them. That's what happened to all the ones that talk about, oh, they can do this, and they went to jail. Especially with all due respect, I respect people, but what the brother that called himself a sheik, he went to jail for this stuff. He went to jail and then tried to plead himself to the courts. When people say Moors don't pay taxes and do all this, well, why you have people to try to fight fake taxes? Tell me why. Come on, man. My people lost. My people lost because they don't want to deal with the truth. They don't want to deal with the truth. We steady believing in characters and fictitious things. And I say, okay, you can believe in an individual, but what I'm telling you, precedented, it ain't gonna hold water to what somebody's saying when I show you this precedented law cases, when I show you what's really going on. Now you take it how you want to take it. I bet you ain't gonna take none of that stuff no further. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, anybody on here promulgating, they ain't went to no course, they ain't went and did nothing, they ain't went all that paper, all that stuff they posting on here. You can go on everybody page and anybody on here that's posting stuff, ask them are they doing any of that stuff that they posting. I bet you they ain't. I bet you, and I ain't rich. I bet you $10 they ain't doing it. That's all I got is $10. I ain't got no more. I'm broke. $10. I bet you ain't nobody doing none of the stuff they posted like, ooh, you can do this, you can do this. No, you not. You going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You filing taxes, you paying this and all that. Because if you live in a neighborhood or a house or an apartment, you paying your rent, you paying your property taxes, all that. Why? Because if not, you wouldn't be living. So stop all the cap. It's cap. It's cap. But I call it barbershop talk. I call it semantics. I call it a waste of time. Why? Because ain't nobody doing nothing that they saying. And you can't tell me I'm not telling the truth. Because I can show you everything that happened to all these individuals. It's recorded. I've been giving y'all things to watch. It's a YouTube channel called Fact or Fraud. Research my man. Y'all gonna be cracking up. He got a little his little emoji is like a little muscle man with a fez on. He don't even like more science, but that's how he got everybody on his channel. And he's going through it on all that stuff. And I'm like, hey, that's what you get. And then here go me. I talk about the same thing, but in a righteous way to be like, listen, catch this stuff, because none of this stuff is real. And he talking about a whole bunch of other people. He don't care. He said whatever. Just like my man JT Pocket Watchers. He's a real financial certified financial advisor. And he had his show, and he gave all those brothers, those Moors, those Muslim dudes, and those people pay for you. You can do this and do all that. Gave them all the opportunity. The little young Muslim dude that said he had 400 acres of never land, whatever, gave all them a chance to defend what they were saying. It was all Fuji dust. All Fuji dust. He gave them all the chance to explain what all Fuji dust. All that Black Wall Street, all Fuji dust. With all due respect. And I told people off the top, I said, man, this stuff is Fuji dust. They just came up with a way to hustle our people. And that's what happens. None of these, they just collect money from people because they just talk their mouths. None of the stuff, you don't see no infrastructure. No schools in their community, nothing, none of the stuff, nothing. It's just talking. I call it motivational speaking. It ain't nothing. So you pay for all this, where's the infrastructure? It ain't none. It ain't none. So that's why I have to call people groupies. I said, man, there's some groupie stuff. Can't be mad at what I'm saying. You see? And all people got to do is take the time to research this stuff, and you'll be like, what? What? You'll be like, yes. You'll be like, yes. And ain't nobody went to court and won poo diddly. I'm right here to tell you they haven't. Ain't nobody went to court and won nothing. Not one thing. They ain't went to court and did nothing. Cause what you getting ready to go to court and win? Tell me. You can't tell me what you're going to go to court and win, because it ain't nothing for you to go to court and win. Nothing. Everything is just not what you think it is. And people don't have, how can I say, the sound mind and the right people to tell them this. But I'm going to tell people this, and that's why people be butthurt. They can be mad at me personally, but they can't deny nothing I'm saying. That's why I said I could stand alone. All my muftis know it. They're like, she gonna stand alone regardless. Why? Because this is how I'm built. And I ain't worried about nothing. The truth gonna make me free. The truth gonna allow me to step. And the right people gonna stand right with me. On the left, on the right, in the front, and in the back. Why? Because what I'm saying is valid, and I done saved lives. That's what I know. And everything I'm saying is valid. It's 100% uno. All this stuff is over. And the people that's telling y'all this stuff, having y'all commit fraud on the internet, they're going to have to man up to that stuff. They're going to have to man up. Because they're going to be accused of teaching people criminal behavior. All of them. Every last one. And they're going to have to defend it. Who? The people talk about, you could just say you a Mormon. You could just say you a militia. You can just say this and follow this and take this university. Them same people that's doing the same thing that the POLIGHT did, riding around in a car that ain't his. The same stuff. And people still falling for the same Jedi mind trick. And I said, something wrong with us, man. Clearly, something is wrong with the mental. Because you don't see this. You don't see the same thing. And people be thinking this is something real. I said, what do you think you get ready to get out of all this stuff? What? Tell me. You don't have nothing. You set up a trust. What? What's in a trust? Fuji dust. What's in your trust? Fuji dust. Ooh, you can set up a trust. You can do this. What's in your trust? Fuji dust or some Jordans. You don't have. Why would you be concerned about setting up a trust? Do you have a life insurance or anything, and you want to set it up in a certain trust where it don't be taxed and all that? I teach you this. I teach you about all the trusts. But everything else, like you finna set up a trust, and magically the trust gonna make you some money, you got to be clearly sick in the head. You got to be sick in the head. With love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice on that level. It's something in the head that's not right. For education purposes only. For education purposes only. Something got to be wrong with the mental. For education purposes only. and everybody on here with a sound mind be like, yes. Especially if people that got real jobs and they had to study. Come on, you got to be rocking with me. You have to, because it's a certain language in every study. You got to know. You know a person know what they're talking about. Why? Because it's a language for every craft. And then you got to know how to work those tools. I know how to work the tools, and I can teach you. It's like read music. Some people like Nick Cannon on that drum line. He ain't even know how to read music. He know how to play it by ear. So if I tell you to read this, you don't even know what to do. So that means you limited in your abilities. You can't teach. You play off ear. Oh, so I gotta. You see? But if I give you this music, you lost in a sauce. Understand what I'm saying? And so when I talk about things, everything I talk about is precedent. Fact check it. What? Everything. Everything that I talk about, I guarantee you, you can be like, yep, 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 yep. Especially when it's civics, especially with law, especially when it's dealing with anything that you put in your life into. I guarantee you, I never steer you wrong. I guarantee. And I can guarantee you, people are steering you wrong already. Why? Because they don't think you smart. They don't think you intelligent. Why? Because look who's doing it to us. And then they doing it with a smile. And then they got all these people on these podcasts with this payola. I tell people, research what payola is. All this stuff is a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme. You clearly don't see this stuff yet. Yet you clearly don't see it. You don't clearly don't see how these people making this money, giving you legal advice, and they ain't won no case. Like that's crazy. And everybody and all of y'all in the person comments, that's a RICO law. Like, yep, university. I need that. That's a RICO law. Why? Because that's showing you that you with the BS. And now you're going to have to say you ain't, because you in the inbox like you need it. So this person can go to the arena of court and say, yep, all those people, I taught this person like Nino Brown did. You say, it's this bigger than Nino Brown. They can say it's on them. So all those people in the inbox that they did with, all those people, you can get subpoenaed. And now you're going to have to go and defend what you're saying. Y'all don't see this? They showed it on New Jack City. It's the same thing with the internet now. So all this false information, when these people, because it's happening, the Pandora box is open, it's happening now. They're going to be like, well, it ain't just me. It's these people. You're going to get subpoenaed. Why? Because he got you in a database. Who? All of them. Every one of these people that said that you finna be a citizen of this and expatriate and all this stuff, and then when you be stateless and all this, and you done did that with these people, they coming for you. Why? Because you a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. You done expatriated from the de facto government. Now who you got affiliates with? Oh, I'm a citizen of this paper that I got from Joe Blow Bay off the internet. Yep, sorry for you. Sorry for you. With love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Sorry for you, because you didn't listen to somebody that was going to help you. And you expatriated from the de facto government and you don't have no affiliate with no one. I'm sorry for you. You done filled out some fake paperwork, just like that PPP loan. I'm sorry for you, because I've been right here trying to show you. You're going to have to defend all that fake stuff that you did. Where? In the courts. I bet you're going to get a court-appointed attorney. And I bet you're going to plead to a lesser charge. And I bet you're going to tell on everything. Why? Because you got a family and all this, and you don't want to go to JAIL. Just like the RISE of the Moors did. I'm telling you. And all that stuff was a setup. I'm telling you. And the dude, VINCENT, told everything live on the video in a fake court with the fake consulate. Told everything. And I said, oh, they finna use this in court. Sure enough. I'm telling you. And everybody like, yep, you right, Sheik. I know I am. Stop being crazy. And let's be honest. And let's be real with what we dealing with. And let's get rid of all these people saying that they can nationalize you. And they some Sheik and they some Sharifian officer and they got some authority. No, you do not. No, you do not. No, you do not. It's fake. The only thing somebody can make you is part of their little club or a Freemason. They can't change you from your descendant nature. They can't nationalize the Sudanese, the Chinese, and all that. So what makes you think somebody can nationalize you? What makes you think that? It's not real. I'm telling y'all, this is my last time speaking on this. I promise you, I'm not going to talk about this never again. This is my last time. All that stuff is not real. There's no precedent in law case. Ain't nobody went to court and won nothing off no social security number. Talk about they had to sign an NDA. Do not disclose. All that stuff is not real. If you think that, that's on you. You can ask me questions. I got more civic law to show you everybody that played that game and what happened. All my muftis to show you, like she got everything to show you what happened to these people playing this. Talk about some Zodiac law, some CM Bay, and this is some CM Bay, like CM Bay is some lawgiver. Man, CM Bay ain't graduated from that university. Why? Because I know people that graduated from that university during that time. It's just like if I said I graduated from Grand Canyon University, which I did with my dual master's degree. If I said I graduated from Clear University with my dual bachelor degree, you can look me up. That ain't hard. That ain't hard at all. That ain't hard. So if you look an individual up and you can't find it, what you gonna say? And you can find everybody else that graduated in that class. Oh, yep. What he say? Yeah, my YouTube finna die, but you can join TikTok. But I'm about to get off anyway, so don't worry about it. But yeah, you shouldn't even be tripping. Why? Because everything I'm showing you, I show and prove. I never leave nobody in no burning house. So why are you still doing these things that will get you in trouble? That means you want to be in trouble. Nobody have no secret law. Nobody have no special paperwork that you're gonna file and get you off. Nobody got no paperwork that you ain't gonna pay child support no more. Nobody have this that you're gonna cancel corporate debt. Nobody have nothing like that. You just gonna pay for something else and then pay for something else and pay for something else. Then it's gonna draw up like Fuji does. Cause that's the only thing people be wanting to do. What? Not pay something that they went into a contract with. These is facts. Tell me I'm lying. You can't. You can't. None of this stuff is science. None of this stuff is helping. Everybody want to try to get out of something and think it's a piece of paper that you can file to get out of something. Oh, I owe this. Oh, I don't want to pay this no more. This, not the other. That's all this stuff is, man. You wasting your life and your time and your energy. I'm telling you. And you're going down the wrong road. You're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for this. And you're going to be in Fuji dust. So with that being said, I love y'all, man. If y'all need anything from me, y'all know my info. Y'all know my info. And peace, Empress Soy Sauce. Peace to you, Divine. Peace to you, Soy Sauce. You already know. I give love to the Divine Empresses because all the Empresses is Mayat, the garden that produced food and life. I give all y'all Empresses love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I tell all y'all Empresses to watch yourselves on social media because the satanic spirit and the positive spirit both have that same energy. They both have that same energy. And people will prey on you, just like P-R-A-Y and P-R-E-Y, just like a lion prey on a gazelle. So be careful of your energy. Be careful of what you're into. And be careful of these people saying, oh, they can help you do this and they can help you get some credit. And they got some gold mine. All you got to do is get with me. And I guarantee you they're going to disappear like Fuji does. Why? Because I already been there. We're going to deal with it. And if you're dealing with something, they shouldn't be mad with you having an ally, someone in your best interest that can read things, that can read contracts, that can say, nope, 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 nope. They're not going to want that. Because if it was righteous, they wouldn't be mad at it like I would be. I'd be like, yes, get that person in your best interest to read over this to make sure it's valid. Because everything have an assumption of risk. I guarantee you, I'm right here for you. As a fact checker, I bet you it's going to draw up like Fuji does. I guarantee it's going to draw up like Fuji dust and they're going to disappear. And you're going to be like, oh, I knew this person for 30 years. I don't care if you know them for 30 years. They plan on you. They think they know you for 30 years so they can run game on you and use that 30 years to run game. I'm telling you, I done told my people. Just like I told one of the empresses, I said, Empress, just because you lost a car, you can't get nothing. This person is talking cap. He finna get you caught up in the web. Did you read the contract? What, when you signed it? I tell people don't never, ever, ever get a car note. Why? If you're going to put $5,000 on a car, buy a $5,000 car. But if you got the bag and you can pay it off, you do that. But when you lose things, you lost it. Why? You're a willing obligor. What the contract say, what the interest rate say. So when you buy things like that, to me, if you don't have the bag and you don't understand leasing and all that, I would never lease nothing. Why? If I'm driving my car back and forth to work, I don't need a car like that. We acquire these debts for what? I don't know. I don't know. People have enough money to get something nice and drive back and forth to work, acquire things, make money, and then turn that in, use that as a down payment, use a couple more money, and get a car to go back and forth to work. Because when you going out of town, you renting a car or you flying. That's just my business savvy. When I tell all young people, what I be telling them, don't get caught up in no car note at a young age if you want to do business. Why? Because that car note is what you can use for your business. Don't get caught up in a whole bunch of clothes. Getting caught up in being clean. What you mean? You can be clean and don't get caught up with designer. So you can do all your business you want. And when you a young man, you making that bag and you understand who you are. That's what I learned. I have a business degree and I have a spiritual degree, and I'm spiritual, so I can teach all those dynamics on this earth plane. I love y'all, man. Support your brother. I'm right here. Like I said, man, truth has no sides. And I love all my empresses, and y'all are not alone. Don't let nobody get y'all caught up in no scams or no fake stuff. I'm right here. I promise you. My muftis will tell you I'm right here. My mufti Masa won't hear. But once again, man, I love y'all. All y'all got to do is ask me questions, and we can change this whole paradigm. We can change this whole movement. And with that being said, peace, light, and illumination. Peace, Noble Moso. Peace, y'all. Peace.